It's Friday night. Time for high school football. KMIR News. Friday Night Lights. Brought to you by General Air Conditioning.
All right, welcome to Friday Night Lights, your complete wrap of all your high school football games across the Coachella Valley and beyond. CIF playoffs, week 2, 4 local teams still in the hunt. Let's get right to Bridget Case as she kicks off our Friday Night Lights team coverage. Bridget.
That's right. We had 2 5 and 6 squads out in La Quinta battling it out tonight. The Blackhawks still lucky to be in this hunt as they've battled through numerous injuries this season and have lost quite a few games, relying heavily on the depth of their youth. But they've made quite the comeback this postseason. With a healthy QB, Michael Avina, he would lead his Blackhawks into offensive domination and keep that streak going tonight. The defense was pretty explosive too, holding the Burros and stopping them on intense drives. Benji Cordova also had pretty hot stuff tonight, 4 touchdowns for him on the night. His fourth, a 49-yard dash into the end zone. A lot of veterans also showed up tonight, something really missed early in the season, and it was good to have that seasoned harmony back on the field. Your final numbers on the night for you, 55-26. It's a Blackhawks victory. They'll host Oak Hills next week in CIF semifinals. We'll have more sights and sounds for that game coming up, but next we head across the valley to Rancho Mirage, where a team with 9 losses last year became a proud squad of 9 victories this year. And now have never been in this situation before. The Rattlers sure looked comfortable tonight, surviving a dominant Titans offense through the first, and it seemed like they had things under control. They go up on the Titans with a Daniel Whelan 48-yard field goal, but things took a turn for the worse when Notre Dame scored. The Rattlers fought back, tightening things 7-6 with another field goal in the first drive of the second half. And they would keep things close, but they would lose steam in the end. Final score for you, it's 34-12. Notre Dame wins it. A spectacular season, though, for the Rattlers. They got a lot done in their first year in the playoffs, and congratulations to that first senior class. Next up, I've got an exclusive interview for you with La Quinta's quarterback and comeback kid Michael Avina, and I also caught up with head coach Dan Armstrong, so stay tuned for that. Gino?
All right, thank you, Bridget. Continuing our coverage of tonight's playoff action, let's head out to Julie Bueller live in Palm Springs. She traveled with the team. Julie, what's the latest?
Hi, Gino. Well, I'm back here at Palm Springs High School, and we're awaiting the arrival of the Indians. And all I can say is the reason we love sports is because games are not played on paper. They're played on the field. And while the Palm Springs Indians had the better record tonight, it was the Oak Hill Bulldogs that had the better night tonight. The Indians never got going, Gino. In fact, they got off the bus. One of the coaches said that some teams just don't ride buses well. It was a little bit of a long trek out to Hesperia for the bout against Oak Hill's Bulldogs. And last year, of course, it was a rematch of last year's playoff game where the Indians won here at home. So obviously they had a target on their back. And obviously the Bulldogs knew exactly what they were getting themselves into, facing the undefeated Indians, the top team in their division. This was somewhat of a trap game for the Indians. And they never had their rhythm, Gino, and they just never had the mojo flowing that we've seen and come to know from the Indians from all their 11 victories this season. The final at Hesperia at Oak Hills was 43-15, and just to put a little perspective around the 43 points that the Bulldogs put up on the Indians tonight, they allowed 26 points all year long to league opponents. Now we have 2 DVL squads in the Final Four. We'll see about Palm Desert taking down another undefeated team tonight as well. But just wrap your brain around that. 43 points allowed tonight. They allowed 26 points in league contests all year long. So a very disappointing end to the Indian season. There will be no repeat of the CIF division title, but we've got, as I mentioned, 2 DVL teams still in the Final Four. In just a couple minutes, we'll hear about that other upset, another undefeated team going down at the hand of the Aztecs. Gino, back to you.
All right, Julie, surprising result there for Palm Springs. Coming up next on Friday Night Lights, as Julie mentioned, Palm Desert hits the road, taking on the Vikings of Moreno Valley. We'll tell you about that. Plus, we talk to the surprising Blackhawks as Friday Night Lights continues. Friday Night Lights continues now with more playoff action. Let's head back out to Julie Bueller with the very latest. Julie.
Hi, Gino. Of course, the Palm Springs Indians and their undefeated season ended tonight at the hands of Oak Hills High School, but another undefeated team saw their season conclude, as well as the Moreno Valley Vikings hosted our Palm Desert Aztecs, and the Aztecs pulled off an amazing victory on the road at Moreno Valley. What's fascinating about this Aztecs team is that last year they had a bunch of injuries. This year they've been healthy. That's what we've been hearing from head coach Pat Blackburn. And not only were they healthy, but they had James Dockery on the sidelines, former Aztec, also former NFL defensive back, cheering on his alma mater. It was an incredible game. The Aztecs scored first on a safety. That's a defensive score. And then they went up 9-0 by the halftime. The Aztecs never trailed to the favored Moreno Valley Vikings. However, the Vikings showed some fight, and they did tie the game at 12 points apiece with 8 minutes left. But this Aztecs punishing defense showed up again. And in my preview, I mentioned that the Aztecs have outscored their opponents by more than 30 points a game the last 3 games. Well, this one was much closer. Again, tied at 12 with 8 minutes left. That Palm Desert Aztecs defense did its job, got the ball back on their own 37 with 2 minutes left. And then Brian Devlin connected with Dakota Romero for a 63-yard scoring drive. Actually, I should say scoring play. And there you have it. The Aztecs win 19-12. They will advance. They take on Serrano on the road next week. That's a tough team, but I wouldn't put it past the Aztecs to get another upset. And James Dockery told me, don't underestimate this team, so we better not anymore. Gino, live at Palm Springs High School, I'm sending it back to you.
All right, thank you. Let's check back in now with Bridget Case, who spoke to the surprising La Quinta Blackhawks. Bridget.
Yeah, La Quinta's high school stadium was live tonight. A lot of passion left on the field as these kids are just happy to still be in the game and alive in the playoffs, and also have some of their key guys back, from a coach to a QB with injuries. We caught up with the Blackhawks to find out how they've come this far this season despite all those who doubted them.
Well, obviously it's another step in the direction, that we want to go. We've been telling people all along, that we're a little bit better football team than we've been giving credit for, but getting Michael back was huge, and it raised not only our ability level but our morale level, and our kids have confidence, a little more confidence now. They're not as beat down. We knew we beat a good Norte Vista team. We beat a good Burroughs team tonight, and obviously, we're going to play a real good Oak Hills team because they're beating Palm Springs handily. So, but we get them at home, and we're excited about that. And anytime you're in the CIF semifinals, you've done pretty well.
We've worked so hard during the season and everything to overcome all these injuries, from me to Robbie with his shoulder to a whole bunch of guys getting hurt. It's a big momentum shift, and I think we've used that, and we've played these whole next 2 games and hopefully 2 more. We're going to celebrate tonight. Got a good win. Tomorrow watch film. Sunday relax a little bit. Monday come back ready to work. And with Thanksgiving, we're going to practice in the morning, but we just got to stay focused and have that same mindset as an underdog.
And La Quinta is so excited to host the Oak Hills next week for semifinals, so make sure to stay with us on your Thanksgiving holidays. We'll bring that game to you. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Bridget. That's going to do it for us. Coming up, we'll have one more look at weather when we come back. Stick around.
Closed captioning brought to you